All right, girls, welcome to tonight's team call. It is Wednesday, November 8th. I am Corey Mayo, your CEO and founder of Team Living Healthy and Fit. Super excited to talk with you all tonight. Can you tell I had my energized twice today? I'm ready to roll. Okay, so tonight I want to talk with you all about the 5 steps to inviting, okay? Because inviting is such a vital piece of our business, right? That's how we inspire others to make change. That's how we influence and have others join our journey, right? Is by sending out the personal invite. So how many of you feel like you've been inviting and it's maybe just not going in the direction that you would like, or you haven't seen the success that you would like to yet? Okay. We've all been there, right? We all have struggles and we all have hurdles that we face when we're going through the inviting process. And all of us will hear no's. I don't care if you are a brand new coach, if you are a diamond coach, if you are a 15-star diamond coach who's earning 6 figures, you will always hear no, okay? Because not everybody is ready when we send them the invite, okay? As a matter of fact, most people aren't ready the first time we invite them, okay? So I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. But I want to go over these 5 steps because generally we're probably missing one of the 5 if we find ourselves struggling, okay? If we find it hard to get people to say yes and commit to moving forward with either a challenge pack or the coaching opportunity, or to just saying yes to a free group, or whatever that looks like for you, okay? So there are 5 steps, and we're going to talk about those 5 steps tonight. So the first one is building the relationship, okay? You guys, we are in the business of growing and building relationships, right? I asked in the team yesterday, what are we in the business of? We're not just in the business of health and fitness, right? We're in the business of connecting and growing relationships and empowering people, women, men, most of us it's going to be women, but empowering them to lead healthy, happier, more fulfilling lives, okay? So it's so important for us to lead with the relationship. How many of you have gotten messages, hey girl, I just thought of you and wanted to see if you wanted to jump into my group about blah, blah, blah. Or, hey girl, I'm having this party this weekend. Just wondered if you wanted to, jump in and look at what we're offering. Like, nobody likes those messages, right? Even if it's something that you would maybe be interested in, nobody wants that sort of a message because nobody wants to be sold to, right? We all
Or
want.
they just add, which
What?
I said, or they just add you to it.
Or they just add you to it, right? Which is even more off-putting, right? Is just being added into a group and then you're like, why are you adding me? And then it blows up your notifications. So absolutely, it's all about building the relationship. It's starting with that friendship first, building that trust with people, providing value, and being a friend first, okay? If we start with the relationship and we build that connection, the rest will fall into place. But it's so important to start with that connection first, okay? So genuinely connecting and providing value. Be a problem solver, okay? Sometimes what people need from us isn't exactly a program right away. You guys, we have so many tools and resources that we can share with people, okay? So maybe it's an audio book that you have listened to, or it's a book that you're reading in personal development, or maybe a website that you've come across, or a blog that can be useful for what they're struggling with. Think about being a problem solver and providing value to people without having an intention, without having that that agenda of selling someone. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. The next tip is ask the question and personally invite. Okay, so we have to actually invite them. Okay, to think that just because we're posting on social media and because we're sharing our journey that people are just going to come flooding to us, it's not going to happen. Okay, then you might have a couple people, but that's not the norm for people to reach out to us. We have to make that personal connection one-on-one with people and send that invite. And I added some today, some scripts of different ways that you can invite people. So if you haven't yet read through that, I encourage you to look through that and see the different ways that you can invite. Okay, be sure to continue the conversation that you've been having, that conversation that you've been growing, that relationship, and just having genuine conversation like you would if you were having coffee together at the coffee shop or if you went to lunch together. Okay, you want to have that conversation. Compliment them on something. And then I usually use either, hey girl, I'm not sure if this is for you, or by the way is a nice transition sentence. By the way, my girlfriends and I are starting this ladies wellness group before the holidays start. We're going to be working on creating some balance or keeping some balance with our nutrition and fitness and sanity during the holidays. I would absolutely love for you to join us. Golden shower. We would absolutely love to have you. I have no doubt that you would fit right in because I love X, Y, and Z about you. Does this sound like something that you would enjoy being a part of with us? Okay, be genuine in that. How would you want somebody to talk to you, right? Be genuine in how you're inviting, okay? So making sure that you're continuing the conversation, you're complimenting them, and then you're just simply inviting them to join you. You don't have to lay it all out and word vomit all over them. Just say, hey, look, like we're starting this group. I thought of you. I thought that it would be a lot of fun, that you would fit right in. Does it sound like something that you would like to be a part of? But don't forget to ask the question, okay? That's a big part of it, is asking the question. We have to get over the fear and just ask. So if you have the fear of inviting, use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and hit send, okay? But we have to get over that fear of inviting because we have such an amazing opportunity to share with people that why would we want to hold that to ourselves? It's no different than if you go to a restaurant and you have an amazing experience, you want to share, you share that, you just automatically share that with people, right? It's natural. We as human beings are constantly selling what we like and what works for us. Maybe it's a new coat that you got that you absolutely love and you're telling everybody about it and how you love it and why you love it and how it fits and how it keeps you warm. We're constantly selling people, right? We're selling people on what we enjoy doing. So why would we hold back something that's changing our life? Okay. The intention of sharing is the opportunity and planting the seed or exposing that person or your followers to the opportunity that we have. Okay. Just because they're following you doesn't necessarily mean that they've seen every single one of your posts or know exactly what you're doing or what you offer as a coach. Okay. So we have to remove the connection to it or the connection to the outcome of it and be willing to share the opportunity with people. And remember that you're not a failure if they say no or if they're not ready. You've shared with them the opportunity that when they are ready to make changes in their life, that you will be that friend and you will be there for them. Okay? Number 3, and I think this is one that a lot of us get hung up on and we maybe struggle with. Number 3 is ask more questions. Ask more questions, you guys. We are the coaches, so we have to be the leader. This is not about us. This is about them and their struggles. Okay? It's not about us. Yes, we can relate to them, but sharing this opportunity with them is not about us. So when they say yes, I know it's really exciting, or maybe they say, well, what does that entail? Or I'd like more information. Take a deep breath and start asking more questions about them. I would absolutely love to share more information about our group with you. I'm really excited for it, and I think that you will really love it too. But would you mind sharing with me a little bit about what interests you about the group? Or would you mind sharing with me what you struggle with when working towards your health and fitness goals? Would you mind sharing with me what you'd like to work towards with your health and fitness? Ideally, what would you like to work towards? Okay, start asking questions. And when they answer, ask more questions. Okay, I would like to lose 30 pounds. Melissa, that's awesome. I have no doubt that we can help you accomplish losing 30 pounds. Would you mind sharing with me what you tend to struggle with when working towards losing that 30 pounds? You can leave it open-ended. I tend to give some examples. I will say something like, do you tend to struggle with what to eat and how much? Making time for workouts? And let's just be honest right there. I word that because everybody's busy. So I make it making time for workouts, not finding time for workouts. Making time. Because every single one of us is busy. So I'm already thinking ahead of the time objection. Okay? See how that works? Start thinking about how you're wording things a little bit. Making time for your workouts or a little bit of both is typically what I will ask people. And most of the time it's both, right? Because we struggle finding balance. And you guys, honestly, a lot of my invites and a lot of my conversations nowadays, it's not about perfection. It's not about what they're striving for. It's about finding balance in life. Because all of us are so freaking ass busy that we struggle with balance. We struggle with feeling overwhelmed and being frustrated. So it's not always just about the nutrition or just about the fitness. It's helping them to understand that we can create some balance in life. Okay? So asking more questions, finding out what their goals are, finding out what they tend to struggle with when they're working towards their goals and moving forward. Okay? So number 4, after you ask more questions, number 4 is going to be make a recommendation. Okay, so they've shared with you what their goals are. They've shared with you what their struggles are. Now let's talk about, okay, Melissa, I have no doubt that we can help you work towards that 30 pounds and finding some more balance with your nutrition and making that time for those workouts. What I would recommend is, and then we have our all access. I use all access for every single person because it is the best deal that we offer. And it is the best opportunity for them to stay on track long term, right? Because they have a full year worth of meal plans and recipes and workout programs to change things up. So if you do not yet have that, it is actually in our files, but I'm going to put all of the scripts tonight or tomorrow morning in a very nice file. So it's very easy for all of you to access and look at. I encourage you to save those to your phone. I have all of my scripts saved to my phone, so they're very easily accessible and I can do them on the go when I need, and I'm not flailing and I don't word vomit when I'm talking, when I'm away from the computer using my phone. But I have no doubt that I can help you do that. What we are going to do is we're going to connect you with X, Y, and Z. Does this sound like something that's going to help you accomplish X, Y, and Z? Again, we have to ask the question, okay? We can't just make the recommendation and leave it in their lap, okay? So again, I ask, does this sound like it's going to help you accomplish X, Y, and Z? Or do you feel like this would be a good fit to help you create more balance with your nutrition and fitness? Okay, does that make sense? So once we've made our recommendation, we're gonna go to the 5th one. And I know that Dana and I recently talked about this one. And I actually did a little live video on it. The closing question. Okay, so once we've made the recommendation, they say, yeah, that sounds great. Sometimes they're going to ask you for a price. Okay, and that's fine. Don't be afraid of the price, you guys. Don't be afraid of the price. $160 for a year's worth of meal plans, recipes, and workouts, not even including Shakeology and the portion control containers and your freaking help for the year. Or for my clients, it's indefinitely. My clients ask me, so what happens after 30 days? I'm like, you're stuck with me. Like, you get me. Once you get me, you have me for life, right? So I want them to know that I'm going to be on this journey no matter what. They don't have to. I don't require that they keep buying Shakeology. I want to empower them to make changes in their life, right? So they get me forever, and I tell them that. But don't $160 for that. That's nothing. That's nothing, you guys. So don't be afraid of that price, okay? Take pride in the value that you're providing to people and what you're offering. So I will then, if they ask for the price, I have a script, which I will share, that breaks down exactly what they get for a one-time fee of $160. And again, I ask, does that sound reasonable for you? Okay. So at this point, they've either said, yes, they're ready, or maybe money becomes an issue. Either way, I'll say, if they say, yes, they're ready, then I will ask the closing question. I'll say, okay, we have until a certain date, which is usually a week before my challenge group starts. We have until November 16th to get you enrolled. When works best from now until then to get you enrolled? Make them commit. Okay, you are going to beat your head against the wall trying to follow up 10,000 times if you do not have a closing date. And then you will be frustrated. And they will be frustrated because you keep following up. Okay, so make sure that you have a closing date for registration and you ask them when works best for you. Okay, sometimes it'll be the day after your closing date. I work with those people, especially with All Access now, you guys. Really, you can get them into a group the next day. But it's ideal for them to have their package in hand before you start meal prep for that group so that they can be comfortable with the materials. They can have and touch and feel them in their hands, okay? The containers and the meal plan, okay? So ask the closing question, and then once they commit to whatever the date is, you say, perfect, we'll get you set up on such and such date. What I will do is I will touch base and send you the link, or if they're ready, then you can send the link right then. Now, I will say this is in my script as well. If in my script for the link and how I walk them through the steps of enrolling, I mention the price again, because there are some people who do not ask what the price is. They say, yes, they're ready to go with the All Access Challenge Pack, and then they tell me what date they're ready to enroll. I don't want my customers getting to the checkout page and going, holy shit, this is $160. Or, oh my God, she didn't tell me it was $160. Because even though they're getting a lot for $160, for some people, that would be sticker shock. Or it might be a little overwhelming. But I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm trying to pull one over on them, right? I don't want them to ever think that I was trying to hold back the price, or that I was trying to, to just see if they would just not notice, right? I want to be 100% honest with them. So I will say, here's the link to get enrolled for the All Access Challenge Pack that we had talked about. You're going to get, and again, blah, blah, blah. It's a one-time payment of $160. These are my 3 favorite Shakeology flavors, in order. I encourage you to order a bag because it's 6 more meals rather than the packets. You can select that by clicking the drop-down menu before you add to the cart. And I put that in bold because I've had a lot of people that just add to the cart and then they get the 3-pack, the barista pack, which must be the top one or whatever. But just to make them aware, and then I let them know what's going to happen once they're enrolled, and then I have them let me know once they've gotten enrolled so that I can go in my online office and I can check everything for them. Okay? All right, cool. So we're going to go through those one more time, okay? So number 1 is building the relationship. Lead with the relationship first. Build that trust. Provide value. Be a problem solver. Even if they're not ready for a group, help them, okay? It's probably kind of far down in our files tab now because it hasn't been used in a long time, but in our team group, there's a 4-week free clean eating meal plan. You guys download that and change it up a little bit, put your information on it, put a couple of your favorite recipes in it instead of all the ones that I have in there, and provide that. Share that with people, give value, right? The number 2 is ask the question to personally invite, okay? And make sure you're using a script, or you're complimenting them and you're keeping the relationship going and then inviting. Number 3 is ask more questions. So we're really touching and honing in on what their goals are and what their struggles are. Number 4 is make a recommendation. And then number 5 is ask when they can enroll. So the closing question, ask when works best for them to enroll. Okay. Then my bonus tip is the fortune is in the follow-up. Okay. So most of the time people are not going to be ready right off the bat, and that's okay. I encourage you to remember when you were invited. Did you jump all in right away? Probably not, right? It probably took a couple conversations, and for you to kind of watch. For most of you on this call, you are my coaches, so it took you a little bit to watch to see what I was doing. Is this girl legit, or is she off her rocker? Is she just trying to sell me, or is she a real person, right? So the fortune is in the follow-up. Keep building those relationships. If they aren't ready and they tell you no because of finances or whatever, use Feel, Felt, Found and connect with them, okay? And if you never struggled with money, then use somebody else's story. I couldn't afford, I had to save up when I first started. I couldn't afford it right off the bat. The challenge pack I bought was $205 then. I couldn't afford it right off the bat. And what we should do is we should compile our stories and how we started, because I'm sure that all of us had one hesitation or another. But use Feel, Felt, Found. Ask them if next month would be a better month. Give them some time to save up. And then keep growing that relationship. Okay? All right, cool. That's all I have for tonight. My dears, do any of you have any questions or thoughts that you would like to add? My mouth is really dry after that. Nothing? Does it make sense? Was it helpful? Do you feel like there was a certain step that stands out more than the other? No? Melissa, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I think I do. I was listening to Melanie's call from yesterday, and one thing that stuck out to me when she was saying that she studied all about every program that Beachbody has because she had only just started with one. And I feel like I know a lot about the programs because I have so many of them that I've done, but would you recommend that we're like studying all of the ones that we haven't done? Or do you feel like you mostly recommend the ones that you've done yourself?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think that there's any harm in learning about the other programs. But here's my thing. I've never recommended a program that I haven't done myself, because typically I'm myself too, like you, I've done a lot of the programs, but you're typically going to attract the people who have the similar struggles as you and who have similar goals as you. Not always, but a lot of times. And there's very rare cases that there's somebody that has such a need that they couldn't modify with one of the programs that you've completed yourself, right? Because they have the modifiers, and there's so many different things that you can do. What kind of makes me hesitate about studying about all the programs is then people tend to get like that analysis paralysis, where you feel like you don't know everything, so you can't make a recommendation, right? And if somebody has a need that maybe you haven't personally dealt with, that's why our team is so amazing. You can simply comment in the team and ask, hey, has anybody ever dealt with whatever? I have a client who wants to get started, but I haven't personally dealt with it. And then most of the time we'll have somebody that has dealt with it or has already dealt with a client that had that issue, type of a thing. Okay. So I don't see that it hurts, but I also don't want you guys to get obsessed with it or feel like you have to know everything about every program to move forward. Most of your recommendations are going to be the newer programs anyway. Really, is it worth going back and like learning about like 10-minute trainer or Slim and Six and some of the older programs that, I mean, really probably nobody, some of you probably haven't even heard of them. You know, you're probably like, what is she talking about? Because they're so old and they were originals, right? So does that help?
Yeah, it helps. I was just like I want to focus my time on what's the most important. And I was like, I don't really think that's the most important thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if that's something that you can like fit in when you have some extra time, sure. But that's definitely not a business building activity. That's not something that's going to move you forward in your business or give you immediate results. So it's not something that I would focus a lot of time on. Okay. Cool. Anybody else? Hi, Caleb. Hi, baby. Oh, he's gonna be shy. All right, my loves. Well, I greatly appreciate everybody jumping on the call. If you don't have any other questions, I'll let you go for the night, except for Katie. Katie Heckard, you're stuck with me. But everybody else, you can get back to your evening. All right. All right. Good night. Thank you so much, you guys.